But listen, studies show that looking at dogs
Yeah.
internet lowers your cortisol.
It's cool to the listeners that are on the fence of getting a dog and, new pet owners too. Like, you really have to spend to understand your animals also need time. Welcome to Unleash Curiosity by Vital Pet Life.
I'm Dr. Amber De Silva, veterinarian and advocate for integrative pet care.
And I'm Donie Yamamoto, founder and CEO of Vital Pet Life. We're so glad you're here.
This is a space where curiosity, compassion, and science converge, where we explore the powerful mind-body connection that supports your pet's health and your own.
Each week, we'll dive deep into the world of pet wellness, breaking down myths, exploring ingredients, and learning from expert voices across the industry.
From nutrition and sustainability to transparency and advocacy, we're here to help you feel more confident, connected, and informed in your care choices.
Let's get into it. Because when we know better, we do better. This is Unleash Curiosity. Welcome back to Vital Pet Life's Unleash Curiosity, where we help you give your pets the longest, healthiest life possible. I'm Donie Yamamoto, and for today's guest, we have Susan Hartzler. She is a highly respected author, blogger, public relations specialist, and public speaker, and a recognized authority in therapy, dog training, and human-animal bond. She serves as a trusted resource for dog lovers, businesses, and the broader public. Through her books, blog, Substack, and talks, she shares stories, insights, and helpful resources inspired by the everyday connection people have with their animals. Welcome to Unleash Curiosity. Susan, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm super excited to be chatting with you on your experience with animals and how you can basically help us be a better caregivers, because I'm a pet parent to this furry guys that we call our angels, our therapy guys.
Yes.
Yeah, so can you tell me about Sit With Me? What inspired you to create guided meditations specifically designed to do with your dog, and how does it work?
Okay, so I started Bliss Dog, which is a Substack, and I started it last September. And while I was doing it, I was doing some therapy dog stories, and I realized this a long time ago, and I've witnessed it, that dogs have incredible healing capacities with humans. That, it's backed by science. Just petting a dog can lower your cortisol. It can raise your oxytocin. It can help your heart. There's just so many amazing health benefits that dogs just naturally give us. But nobody's really talked about how to purposely tap into that healing. And so I sat with that for a while, and I thought maybe I could do some meditations, but I'm actually expanding from meditations to rituals. Other things you could do is so much fun. I mean, this is really my purpose. This is what I was meant to do, because I can't stop myself.
But especially if it's something that's just sparks you to do it, I feel like
I'm so
anything
excited.
that's aligned, that's for you. That's your.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited. So I started the Sit With Me, and it's funny because a lot of people think it's meditations for the dog, and it's not. Although I have to say, dogs do love it when you meditate. It's a strange thing, but they'll come near you. They'll sit by you, like the quiet. They're co-nervous system regulators.
Yeah.
So when you give them a time, they'll help you regulate your nervous system.
That's so true. Yeah. But I do meditations with Crystal, and every time we're doing it, my boys just pretty much sleep next to me in my lap, and
they love it. They love it. I did a puja, which is a Hindu fire ceremony when I turned 50. And I had this dog named Bliss. And, so there was a fire going on and he was doing blessings. And she was walking around with him, just, wow, so amazed, and just wanted to know what was going on. And that's really my inspiration, because she really taught me dogs like this. They like us to be regulated. They like us to do rituals. They find it fascinating. And so do I. So that's how I came up with the Sit With Me. I'm now doing journal prompts about certain things. So basically, I take a certain negative emotion, like overwhelm, And then I'm doing a meditation, and it's on my Substack, Bliss Dog. I'm doing a meditation about that particular challenge that you do with your dog. So, and if your dog's not in the room, or if your dog is no longer on the planet, you can do it thinking about your dog. You could still get the benefits. They won't be as strong as if a dog's sitting right next to you and you pet it. But listen, studies show that looking at dogs
Yeah.
internet lowers your cortisol. So there's nothing bad about it.
It's cool. It's something new. Like, I mean, we always have pets that moved on or no longer in the planet, and we still have those bonds with them. Like, I still think about my dogs that are in the other side. I dream about them all the time.
I think those dreams are little visitations. I wrote a Substack about that too. Usually I have really good dreams, but I had one sort of upsetting dream about my first dog. So it's interesting that they come to give you a message of some kind, I believe.
Well, when my oldest dog, like the one overseas, passed away, the day that she passed away, she said goodbye to me. Like, I didn't even know.
How did she do that?
I dreamt that there was, so my two boys sleep with us in the bed. I was dreaming that the white dog, so I have a tuxedo, is a black terrier dog with white scuff in his face, and then Martin is white. And I saw in my dream so vividly that there's a white leg like waving at me, like literally close to my face. And I'm like, oh, and in my dream, I was like, there you are, I caught you. And then I suddenly woke up and I don't have a foot in my arm. And I was staring and I'm like, oh, Martin is sleeping as far away from me. And I'm like, oh, that's weird. So I just went back to bed, and then morning came. I saw all the text messages from my brother overseas telling me that my oldest dog, Peanut, the white dog, passed away. And yeah, and I'm like, oh my gosh, she said goodbye to me. So
A lot of people don't recognize that. So I truly believe that she did come to say goodbye to you. Because dogs, and I noticed this with the therapy dog work, I call it a doggy sixth sense. They are tapped into something that we don't know about.
yeah.
I do believe that she came to say goodbye to you. And that is so beautiful. Thank
I
you for
know. Yeah. And it was profound because I was like crying when I woke up, and I'm like, I don't even want to talk about it because like there's so much like sad history towards that. Like, me being away, like, there's just so much stuff, that grief that, and then another layer of grief, and then, and that day, like, I was like, can you give me a sign if you're with my dad and the other dog that passed away? And it was raining. It was really gloomy here in LA. And I'm like, okay, I have to walk the boys. So let's drive somewhere that we can walk with trees, like shaded. And for some reason, like, I think good 15 minutes, like the rain stopped, and I saw a weird like halo. Like, there's just like a round thing in the on the clouds wherein the sun was there, and then there's like two rainbows. I'm like, oh my goodness. So I just started crying again. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't know if I can handle another walk. But you know what? I have to be present for the boys.
That's a beautiful story. After I put down my dog Bliss, you know how Facebook, they just send you videos
Gosh.
just out of the blue.
Even
So
Google now, even your phone,
you
like,
can Google those too. So I'm leaving the room where I just put her down, and I get a bing that I have a message, and I open it up, and it's a video that I took of her at a birthday party with a birthday hat on. There was a bunch of other dogs, and the video didn't start with her, but the video was queued up to her with her birthday hat on, barking at me. She was saying goodbye.
can't wait to see, all this like people saying about like there's a lot of change in the world, like, we're ascending.
Yeah.
Like, I'm super excited. I'm like, okay, where's the veil? Like, I want to see my boys. I want to see the dogs.
I feel the same way. I just miss my dogs every day. But the thing is, each one of them comes into my life bringing something else, a lesson that I need at that time.
Yeah.
Well,
Or they help you get through like a certain like experience in your life, because that's how I feel with my animals.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. There's a
Well,
reason dog is God spelled backwards, right?
yeah. Yes. As an author, you've written about human animal bond across several books, dating tales to caregiving to therapy, dog training.
Yes.
How has
This
your own relationship with dogs? Wow. Yay.
So this is called I'm Not Single, I Have a Dog, Dating Tales from the Bark Side. And basically, it's a memoir, but it's about my relationship with my dog.
Is this
As
with
I
Bliss?
was, it's my first dog is an adult whose name was
Okay.
Blondie. Let's see, I have a picture of her in here. So it's all about, I was dating a lot at the time. Here she is. She was so
Can I
pretty.
see
She was a
her?
pound dog. I would take her on dates with me. And this, I'm old. I mean, I'm in my late 60s. So this was a long time ago before people did that. I mean,
Yeah,
you
I
know,
know. I mean, if I could imagine like back then, like it's not as open as now. We're in. I mean, we don't go to restaurants unless the dogs are allowed.
I'm the same way. So
Yeah.
I was doing that back then. And I mean, even my brother said, "You can't find a man because you love your dog too much." I'm like, what does that have to do with it? So what I realized is that I'm a good judge of character when it comes to dogs, but I'm lousy when it comes to men. I have a bad picker. And they may look different, they may have different jobs, but it's always turns into me being I'm a natural caretaker. And it always ends up me taking care of them. So when I started writing this book, I wanted to look into that of like, why do I do this? How can I
Where you're
stop doing?
attracting it. Yeah.
Yeah, I had years of therapy. I really worked on myself, and yet I still went out with a guy who had a good job. Finally, I had one with a job. Usually I go out with musicians, but he turned out he was like the worst. He was like psychotic. I mean, he was horrible. So I was trying to figure that out. And I did it by writing this book, kind of looking at what the difference is. How come I can find these dogs that we just gel? I saw her. She was at the Pound in LA, and she was shaking in the back of a cage, and no one was looking at her because she was just like, "Ah."
Because it's so scary. Even if I walk when, I mean, I sometimes visit shelters because we give
Yes.
like
You
products, and
torture us, right?
I'm like, I don't want to go in. Like I can hear the voices. And then I don't know, one time, like, the vet just like showed us like, the whole, I mean, I'm like different kinds of animals, like from a turtle to a pig to like, I'm like, who has pets
I
that just
know.
turn over? Like, it's just so ridiculous. But I'm just saying, like, yeah, I can't stand it. Like,
I
it
know.
just breaks my heart. And
I know
I
you
mean,
wanna take them all home, but you have to realize, you
it
need to
takes a lot.
find the
Yeah.
one or they need to find you. And she was just minutes from being euthanized.
Oh, I
Period.
hate that.
So I just said, I
So they've been
walked.
doing that a long time ago too? I thought just
Oh,
now.
they've been doing that for a long time. 'Cause people don't spay or neuter their dogs,
I know. That's something
and
that,
there's too
yeah,
many dogs on the planet, you
I
know?
know. That's really something that needs to be really, really like put out. Like,
Yeah, I agree, and I just think you need to be responsible. If you get a
yeah,
dog and you can't get rid of them when they get old, it
no.
is harder, I mean, there's all sorts of things. It's a lifelong commitment, and
Hmm.
I love it. I mean, I like all the stages. When they get older, they are more attuned to you, and I don't know. I just I appreciate it all. But, yeah, so I got Blondie then, and, she helped me through a lot. Actually, she died 6 months before my mom died. So she kind of got me ready
For your
to lose my
mom's. Mm.
and, just amazing things. She was a great dog. Not the kind of great dog that I have now. She was not trained at all. My dogs now are actors and models, a lifelong dream of mine, and they're professional dogs. I took her to a dog audition. She didn't even sit on command, but to me, I was in my 20s. I thought, "She's just so beautiful, they're gonna want her," right? So I go, and there's all these people with, professional dogs and crates, and I just had, like, a handful of treats with me. I didn't know what I was doing, and I went in and I go, "Look at how beautiful my dog is," and they're like, "Does she do anything?" "No." So, but since then, I've had dogs on commercials and yeah, all sorts of things. In fact, my 11-year-old boy, they're beautiful. I have Australian Shepherds now. He was a show dog, and the breeder didn't want to show him because he had a red undercoat and he has this foot that kind of, they have to walk perfectly forward.
Hmm.
He had
Hmm.
one foot that's kind of like,
Yeah.
so, but he has so much nicer of a life now. So
That's
he's done
great.
a lot. He's done a lot.
Yeah, I feel like we don't really know how much they shape our life because, like, I never thought that. I mean, I always loved dogs. I always wanted to have dogs growing up, and there was a time that I'm not allowed to have dogs. And then by the time that I have dogs, like, I feel like my life's always about them, but you don't really thought about it. Like, you don't think about like, oh, okay, my life's always been directed by them. And
Yeah.
then not until like Tuxedo came, he was like, he came into like a pivotal moment in my life. My dad just passed away. I was
It's
far from
true.
my dogs overseas. I was gone. I mean, they live overseas. I can't be with them. And then at the same time, I was also trying to figure out like how to rebuild my career back. And because of desperation, I thought like, okay, maybe I can sell. I found something online, like I can sell on Amazon. And I thought the one thing that I was buying in Amazon was like dog supplements. And I'm like, why not? So I started off with salmon oil, and yeah, the rest is
So
history. I never thought that I'll be 100% in the pet space because I'm like, in my head back then, you need to be a vet. You need to, I mean, how we were like conditioned when you want to build a business, you have to have like a education behind it, a degree behind it, like experience behind it. And I don't have anything with animals other than like caring and loving them.
but that's all you really need, because
Yeah.
if you want the best for them, you'll
Yeah.
find out. And, sometimes they lead you to your career.
Yeah, and that's what I said. He's my North Star. And, if I think about it, it wasn't just him. Like it was the other guys before him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of dog is he? Yeah.
He's a terrier. I had him when he was like 2. I started taking care of him, and not until he was like probably 5 or 6 that the owner asked us if we can keep him, and then yeah, the rest is just history.
Well, if you open your heart, that happens.
Oh
That
yeah,
dog is meant for
oh yeah. I knew it, but the moment I saw him, I just fell in love with him. And at first, I was like, nah, I don't want any dog, because like I have like 5 dogs overseas.
You know what that looks like to me? If you looked in the dictionary under the word dog, that picture would show up.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. He's like a dog.
Yeah.
My God. And his name is, he's so cute.
Tuxedo. And then we adopted like 3 years ago another dog. His name's Jean Martin.
That's cute.
But they're like a team now. Yeah. Every day I'm like, oh, what did I do? What do I do to deserve you guys? You guys are so great.
I know. Isn't it great? I just love dogs.
Yeah.
And they can really help you through grief because they're
Yeah, totally. Like, yeah, there's a lot of crazy stories like that I can share, but I feel like it was my dad who gave him to me.
my mom gave me a dog after Blondie died.
Mm,
And his name was Baldwin. He was a rescue too. I always said that he was her enduring love. So, and he's the one that helped me with the caregiving, which is my other book. So I had a job, this is called The Peace Puppy, and that's Baldwin. Is he cute? And a really busy career in travel public relations. And I went all over the world. I went to Fiji 3 times with Jean-Michel Cousteau. I don't know if you know who that is. You might be a little young. But the Cousteaus, they had a show on probably in the 50s where the father, he's a Frenchman, and he had his 2 kids and they lived on the water. So it was like people watched it, and he's an animal advocate. So you might want to look him up. He's very interesting. Jean-Michel Cousteau. His father was Jacques Cousteau.
okay.
And, I just went everywhere, but I missed Blondie. I was just like, yeah, it was a fancy job and I traveled but I really missed my dog. So, I gave up my job after my mom died because my dad had Parkinson's, and I'd just gotten Baldwin, and he really helped me through the caregiving, because caregiving is a very tough role,
Yes.
especially if it's your father.
Hmm.
And it can really do a number on your head. And
Yeah.
you really have to put yourself.
I mean, I wasn't there physically, so that was even harder. It's like
Yeah.
I feel like I can't see what's going on. But yeah, I know how it is. You,
Yeah.
you tell me.
Yeah.
I
So,
may not be physically there, but yeah, you're right about the whole like caregiving, mental. Yeah, it's just gonna take a toll on you.
yeah, it
Other
takes a
than that,
toll on
too.
you because you focus on another person
Yeah.
and you forget to put yourself into the
Hmm.
equation. And
Yeah. And then
that
other than that too, like the other people that you expect to be there for, I mean, that could be proxy to you. That's also a different story.
I had when I asked for help, they'd say, "Why don't you do this?" I'm like, I, I can't do anymore. I need your help. Could you do it? People don't get it. They think that they're giving you some great idea of another thing you can do.
Yeah.
No, I need a day off. That's the other thing. You're working 24/7. But Baldwin was so amazing because my dad had Parkinson's, and the medication from Parkinson's can make them hallucinate. And the 4% of the Parkinson's patients have Alzheimer's-like symptoms. And my dad had that. So he could be extremely cruel. And, it wasn't him, but
It was a drug.
yeah, or it was his disease.
Hallucination.
Because one of the things, if people have hallucinations, if they say, these flowers are purple, or if they say, these flowers are green, and you try to tell them, no, they're purple, to them, they really are green. So you can't convince them. And my dad would do this thing every night. I want to go home. He's sitting in his chair in the den. And I would sit down with him and say, Dad, you are home. Don't, and he'd get so mad at me. So I talked to his doctor and he said, no, you have to go along with them, which is very hard. But I stopped trying to change him. And if he got really mean, I'd just say, Dad, I'm taking Baldwin on a walk. And I'd just leave the house even
It
if it was
helped you.
going out the backyard. Can't even tell you, that saved my life. And then he was also there, when my dad fell out of bed and cracked his head open. Baldwin was there, and it's just I don't know. He just helped me in so many ways, and he was funny. He looked like a little Muppet. He looked like a black Cookie Monster, and he was so funny. He just had this little personality, and he would entertain my dad. And I started doing dog agility with him because he was in the herding breed, and here I was in my 40s, and I took my dad with me to the classes, and he'd watch. So I got him outside, breathe
so nice.
fresh air around other people. The whole thing, the dog, centering around the dog made such a difference.
Exactly. Yeah. They do a lot of stuff for us that we're not even aware of, that we dismiss as just normal stuff.
Yes.
So I know that you also do training. What does it take to train and work with a therapy dog?
So my next book that's coming out is about therapy dogs.
Uh-huh.
Take a deep dive into the whole world of therapy dogs. I've been doing it since the year 2000. For a while, for 8 years there, I was one of the evaluators for one of the top national therapy dog organizations. So I'll tell you, the thing that I saw time and time again is it's not just about training your dog.
It's also you, right?
It's also you. It's a therapy dog team. So yes, the dog has to do things, but you're going with the dog and you're talking to people who are in the hospital. Or I'll give you an example. And this is in my book. I took Bliss to a special needs kids picnic, and I took a man who I had trained his dog. It was a golden retriever, Elvis, this is the greatest dog. And we get there and the dogs are just entertaining the kids and loving it. And then the man goes, really loud, what's wrong with these kids? Really? So anyway, I had to ask him to leave. Because, it's really important to realize and know that it's a team activity.
Yeah.
As far as the teaching them goes, so you can join, there's hundreds of therapy dog organizations. I took the top 10 national ones and talked about how to join them, but there's also local ones. So it depends on where you live. Each of them has their own test, but there's a thing through AKC called the Canine Good Citizen Test. And if you look at that test, they're all kind of based on that. So you wouldn't want to take a dog in a hospital that couldn't calm down.
Yeah, you had to.
You wouldn't want to take a dog in a hospital that wanted to eat everything, because you don't know if you're in a hospital and they're bringing food, the dog needs to be okay. But I do have a story with that. Bliss one time ate the Play-Doh. It was homemade Play-Doh, so it wasn't
Okay.
bad for her.
Okay.
But she walked by the table so many times, and then she just went, hoping I didn't see it, but I did see it. That was harmless. But if she'd been a dog that wasn't under my control and did that and ate all the Play-Doh and bit it out of the kids' hands and stuff, that could have been a nightmare.
Yeah.
So the thing about the test is it's for you and the dog. They're not being mean. These people who start these organizations do it from their heart. They have years and years and years of experience, and they want the dog and the human and the patient or the student or whatever
to bond, right?
a positive experience.
Yeah.
So you have to make sure that your dog doesn't cry when you're not in sight. You have to make sure that they don't jump when something falls. So we use like a chair where we drop it on the ground. You have to there's special testing for treats. So and it's all based on making sure that the dog is comfortable. And what's
Yeah.
interesting is, Baldwin and Bliss, they were both agility dogs and,
Hmm.
super active, but they would get in the hospital and they'd both like just calm down. It's
Wow.
very interesting. I don't know how. Again, that's the doggy's sixth sense, but
Yeah.
it's very interesting. They really
I
know.
think yeah, that's interesting because I feel like I don't think my dogs are gonna be terrier dogs because the older guy whines when he
Yeah.
sees me. I don't even know why he does that, but I think it's more of
Yeah.
like the pack is together and he's just super excited to go out. Because if it's just my husband and the two of them, he's very quiet. But if I'm around, like
He
he
might
just
though. If you,
starts.
if you trained him, he might be fine.
Yeah, but he's such a good dog. I think the other dog too has potential, but yeah, we have to train him. Like I think we're still trying to figure out like for him to be good in walks. Like as I said, like he
Well,
was a
they have
rescue.
to do loose leash walking. So
Okay.
you have to be really good on the leash because you're taking them
Yeah.
in. You're going to be around
Yeah.
people. They can't be pulling you down the hall.
Yeah. It takes really time and effort, right?
Yeah, I mean, any dog could be a therapy dog, but you have to make sure that the dog wants to do it. For instance, Bliss and Baldwin, we went to County USC. They loved it. They showed off. They went room to room. They visited the kids. Then I got this dog Seven, who's a rescue from the show ring. He hated the hospital. He just was like, "Why am I here?" So you have to know your dog too. He
Yeah, you
loved
need.
going to the high school, and there's a local high school out here with special needs kids. He loves
Mm,
that. He hated the hospital. I don't know if it's the smell or what, but I
yeah,
could tell he shut down. He could do it, but it wasn't fun because he was shut down and like just didn't like it. But then with the kids at the school, the special needs kids, he's
he
just
loves
like,
it.
he loves it. So you have to also know your dog and you have to put them
Yeah,
in the right situation.
that's true. I think that's a good idea, especially like if you wanted your animals to be helpful or more than just like a pet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got herding dogs, so they need a job. Now, if I didn't have them as active as I have them, they would be terrible dogs. They would be
I know
like
they will be destructive inside the house.
Blondie would have not made a good therapy dog.
Yeah.
She was a very good dog for me, though, and that's where I was in my life. She went to Hollywood parties with me. I'd put her around
Uh,
my neck and say, "I'm wearing my fur." She loved all that, but she wouldn't have been a good therapy dog.
I think this is a good thing too to really like to the listeners that are on the fence of getting a dog and new pet owners too. Like you really have to spend like to understand like your animals also need time. Like I feel bad about dogs that are being left behind in apartments, like for the whole day or like no interaction. Like my guys, they have interaction every day.
Yeah. Well, there's some breeds that are fine with that. And this is a funny thing because, like, apartments always talk about size.
Uh-huh.
You got an ex-racer greyhound and left him
Mm,
alone for 8 hours, he'd be thrilled. He
really?
spent his life in a little kennel and chasing some little thing. They've done their action. They just want to chill. They are great for elderly. They don't pull on the leash.
I
They
didn't
don't
know.
want to run anymore. They did it. They had their career. I don't know about regular greyhounds, but ex-racers, they're lazy.
Yeah,
And
I met two greyhound that were rescued from the racing, like
they're
from Mexico.
very docile. They're very
Yeah,
sweet.
Homo cow,
They
right?
just wanna lie around. That's what they
Yeah,
wanna do. And an
yeah.
apartment they think is huge because they're kept in crates all the time. So
Maybe find another dog like greyhounds.
yeah,
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 I get that. Can I go back to the caregiving
yes.
topic? Like, is there any words or what would you like to say to like caregivers who are struggling right now?
That's what I said. Get a dog or a cat or anything gardening, something that you like
Can
to do
enjoy. Yeah,
by yourself that feeds you.
yeah,
Cooking, baking, gardening, cutting flowers, putting
yeah.
together flower arrangements, art. Take an art class at the local community college. Take a bead. When I was caring for my dad at night, I would start beading. It just, I made all these necklaces and I gave them to friends. And then friends were like, stop giving me these things. I was just like making them. And this was when eBay first started. So I put them up on eBay, and my accountant was so mad at me because I made 30 grand.
Wow, just for beads?
Because I would just, it's
Really?
meditation.
Yeah.
It was relaxing, and I would get these beautiful beads and beautiful colored stones, and
Yeah.
it just made me happy. So the thing is, you have to put yourself first, and that's a really hard thing to do when you're caregiving. Because you think, and usually caregivers get into it because they're natural caregivers are naturally that way. And so they're like, finally, I have a place to put all this caregiving that I've been dying to put into the world.
Yeah.
But if you don't take care of yourself, it's a burnout.
It is, yeah. Okay. So for pet parents, like for someone hoping to find a more calm, I mean, you just mentioned that comfort or healing through the relationship with their dog, but unsure where to begin, what's one simple piece of advice you'd like to offer?
Ah, well, one good thing to do, even if you have a puppy, tire it out. A good dog is a tired dog. So take it on bike rides, take it on a nice walk. That also tires you out.
Yeah.
Come back and just pet it, or just brush it, or just talk to it, or just teach it to lie across your belly. It's
Yeah.
kind of like a live weighted blanket. It'll regulate you. But if you have a high energy dog, you've got to wear them out first. So,
Yeah.
and the thing is, training wears them out just as much as like taking them on a 5 mile run. So if
Uh,
you turn on their mind, although you've got terriers, they just have to look cute. You don't have to train them because they don't want to be trained. It depends on what kind of dog you want, and it depends on what relationship you want with that dog.
yeah. I mean, tuxedo, like we go on snifaris,
Oh, I
a
love
lot of sniffing. So every day we have different areas to sniff. So a 30-minute walk turns into like sometimes like an hour because he's like
that.
sniffing
Is
and peeing.
so cool. You know what he'd
And I think
really
it's
like?
good for his brain because like he's 13,
Look
you
at her.
know?
And it tires them out, the sniffing.
Yeah.
I call it P-mail. They're reading the P-mail. So they're on a
Yeah.
safari for P-mail.
Yes.
Yeah, so you have to look at the breed, what they naturally do, and that's what terriers naturally do. And there's also all sorts of dog sports. Like your dogs would love barn hunt. There's places you can go that do this, and they have bales of hay, and then they'll get like a little mouse and put it in a protective thing
We
and
have
hide
that.
it
We have
and hide
I
it.
have puzzles like that though. That I let them play and then,
Yeah.
the he loves it.
Yeah. Or you can actually do what is it called where they sniff things out? It's funny because you put the smell on the tops of those things that you clean your ears out with.
What's this like the cotton buds?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You put the smell on that. And when I took Paige to one of those classes, she kept eating it. So like,
No.
I can't keep doing
Well,
this.
we live by a park, so we're pretty lucky that and then there's so many animals and creatures in our yard too, so they like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then sometimes I take them to a certain area in the park, so we look for bunnies.
Yeah, I call them
But
monkeys. People think I'm crazy because I go get the monkeys, just because I think it's fun. They aren't monkeys.
yeah, they like it. I noticed too that they prefer that yeah, I'm out. Like I'm around when they're playing both of them together and
They
then
like
our
to show off. They like
yeah,
to show off, and yeah, so they're showing
yeah.
mom, "Look at how smart I am." You
Yeah,
know?
they do that. That's why I'm like, okay, I think like his whining, it's not about like anxiety or something like that. It's just super excited to go out that I'm there because he
Yeah.
knows that if I'm there, like there's extra like because I let them play. Like even when walking, me and him like we tend to let Drew play,
Oh,
run around, I hide in the bushes, and he's gonna try to like even as I'm holding his leash, like he knows that I'm gonna hide, and then he's gonna
you could do that
play
in your
there.
house too, though, and it's a good training thing because you teach them to sit and to stay, and you teach them that you'll be away from them, and then what you do is you go hide behind a bed or behind a door. You don't wanna make it hard, and then you call them, and then when they find you, you give them tons of treats. But that's a really good way to train a therapy dog because it's doing quite a few things there.
Okay, I'll do that.
They love it.
Okay. Yeah, they love it. So for pet parents who are going through something hard, like as you mentioned, like a breakup, burnout, caring for a sick parent, what's the most powerful way to intentionally lean into the healing your dog is already offering?
I'd say doing one of my sit with me meditations, but
Okay.
you can also just do a meditation with your dog, petting it. Pet your dog while you're meditating. Have your dog in your lap while you're meditating. They're going to bring you back to earth. They're going to regulate your nervous system.
Around you.
You know what else I do when I'm really overwhelmed or having a bad day? I have a king size bed. I put my pillows to one side, so I'm lying across the bed, and then I motion for my dog Seven to come up. He curls up in my arms, and I just lie there and pet him. And within 5 minutes, I've come down. I don't have that anxiety attack. I calm. He just snuggles right into me, puts his back against me, and we're snuggling, and I have the pillows, and I put on, soft music and maybe light a candle, and it really works. It really works. Or like
I'm
I
scared
said,
lighting a candle in front of them though, because I don't want them to
well, you don't put the
topple it.
candle right by them. You put it,
Yeah.
in the room
Or
somewhere.
yeah.
Yeah. But if they're
Yeah, I'm
calm,
also worried about the scent, especially
the
I
scent,
don't
yeah.
yeah. So I think the most that I try is like saging. Like sometimes they're like, we need to sage like on
Yeah.
weekends.
Yeah.
They run away because it's I think the
But yeah, they
scent
don't
is
like
just too
the scent. Yeah, they
they
don't
don't
like
like
yeah. But you could get an
yeah.
unscented. But,
Yeah.
just set the mood and let your dog help you regulate. And,
Yeah.
you know, it's just truly believe that God shares his love for us through
Through the dog.
animals, through dogs in
Yeah.
particular for me. And if you're open to it, if you open your heart, and if you just look at the dog that you have and figure out what they are trying to help you with, why they are in your life, why they chose you, what lesson are you supposed to learn through this dog? And like, don't be scared about it. Just do some
Receive.
thinking, yeah. And the dog will lead you to what you need to learn, to what you need to do to calm or whatever.
Right. What's my takeaway for this conversation? Like I feel like what I've always thought of like how the animals have been leading me to it's all about like for me to go back to myself, like or
It is.
remembering who I am.
It is.
So it
It is. And
come back to me, to my own
And that's what they do. They lead you to you if you let them.
yeah.
And, I do all
Yes.
reward-based training. I don't do, hitting them, or there has to be consequences. I use a pet corrector, which makes a loud shh sound. You don't touch the dog or anything. If there's something dangerous that they're doing. But other than that, I do
Yeah.
all reward-based training. Whenever you're training, have a smile on your face. Set the dog up for success. Don't try to trick the dog. Set them up to do whatever it is that you want them to do, and then celebrate it. Celebrate it with them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the dog will really start responding and start helping you, like you said, to find yourself.
Yeah. Oh.
And give them salmon oil because they're so good for their skin.
Yeah. Yes.
I use it, and it's my dogs have long fur, and it really helps with the shedding. People need to know that. It's really good. So that's the other thing. You meet the greatest people through your dogs, I find.
Yes. Yeah, of course. Cause like the people that have dogs, especially friendly, like it's just different. They're just so nice. I feel like when I'm in a park, you see everybody's like, no, come, let the dog play. That's their
I know.
nature. You get to meet a lot of people
You get to meet a lot of people. That's
through
why
them.
dogs are the solution for loneliness. You got to get out. You got to meet your neighbors. You
Yeah,
got to
that's
go
so
to
true.
parks, and they're just the solution for everything, if you ask me. But cats are great too, but they're more,
Yeah.
inside.
Insular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
They're
is the saying?
insular.
You can own a dog, but a cat decides if it'll live with you. You don't own a cat.
Yeah.
Good.
Susan, this has been such a beautiful conversation. The way you've woven together storytelling, healing, and the bond we share with our animals, it's really special.
Oh,
And thanks
thank
for
you.
listening. Make sure to check out Susan's books and her Sit With Me meditation on Substack. All the links are in the show notes. So, Susan, thank you again for being here with us. And where can our listeners reach you and explore your work?
I have a website, susanhartzler.com, and everything, the books, the Substack, my
Yeah.
blog, where I talk about products on my blog. I think I'm doing something on you soon.
Yay.
Yeah. So it's all stuff that I believe in. So it's stuff that I've tried, or if my dogs don't need it, I know someone that did it. And, anyway, it's not just it's all stuff that's been researched and verified. So, and just the most important thing to do though is to love your dog.
Yes. Every day. Hug them every day. Well, thank you, Susan. If Unleashed Curiosity is part of your week, make it official. Hit subscribe, follow us on your favorite podcast platform, or tune in to our YouTube channel so you can watch as well as listen. And drop us a note at podcast@vitalpetlife.com. We love connecting with the Vital Pet Life community. And we are always listening. Until next time, stay curious and love your animals well.